This video is a breakdown of our payday routine. And this video was inspired by a recent post from Baby Fire with Emily, where she recently shared her and her partner's payday routine. So let's get into it. I'm paid fortnightly and monthly. This comes from teaching part-time, family finance income, and from my husband's business. This money is mostly saved. And then my husband is paid monthly. His income comes from his business, and this income pays for our expenses as it is the same amount each month. Here is my income for the month of September. There was income from teaching, family finance, and the business. The after-tax amounts were $3,300 from teaching, $146 for family finance income, and $1,200 from my husband's business. I claim the tax-free threshold on my teaching income. That means that the tax paid is slightly higher on the other income streams. However, that will even itself out at tax time. So I put money into a separate bank account for the tax for family finance. My tax rate is 32.5%, so I just put away that percentage each month. The tax rate for 32.5% is for people earning between $45,000 and $120,000 a year. I don't predict my income to be any higher than that. So my overall income for September before tax was $6,115. After I pay tax and contribute money to my retirement account, my take-home pay for the month was $4,700. While my husband's is much simpler. His before tax income is $8,400, and once tax and voluntary contributions are taken out, his take-home pay is $5,700 for the month. Those retirement fund contributions go to our superannuation account, which is similar to a 401k. Those contributions are our personal contributions, and then we also have contributions from our employer. I don't pay into my retirement fund from family finance earnings at this stage. So in addition to our personal contributions, there are also employer contributions to our retirement funds. My employer pays 12.75%, while my husband's employer, which is actually himself, pays 10%. We do have a goal to eventually max out our concessional contributions, which at the moment is $27,500 per year each. And of course, I must mention that the information in this video is for entertainment and general information only. You can read my full disclaimer in the description box below. This is because I sometimes wonder if retirement contributions could be the best way to help out our two boys. We plan to help them with their house deposit. If we were to save within our retirement accounts, by the time we have access to that money, our boys will be around 24 and 26 years old, so pretty much perfect timing. Okay, so here is our combined income, which is $14,500 for the month before tax. $3,000 goes to tax. We pay personally $1,000 to our retirement funds, and that means our take-home pay is not quite $10,500 for the month. So my husband's income of that $5,700 a month gets deposited into our expenses offset account. The mortgage and childcare payments come out of this account, and then all of our other expenses are paid onto the credit card, and then we do pay this off at the end of each month. I do try and limit non-essential spending until the end of the month to see how much money we have left. This is always fun to see how much money is left over that can be spent guilt-free. Waiting to see how much money we have to spend at the end of the month also fosters delayed gratification, which is the resistance to the temptation of an immediate pleasure in the hope of obtaining a valuable and long-lasting reward in the long term. The benefits of delayed gratification for us are that it stops impulse purchases, which can lead to regretting a purchase. It makes sure that I'm buying something that I really value, and it makes it even more satisfying if I've had to wait a month or two. And I have a confession to make. Because I have a thing for round numbers, I also sometimes at the end of the month send a small BPay payment to a chosen bill. I just did one here to our water bill mid-month to show you guys. So before I made that payment, our expenses account was $3,700. And then after that payment, it was $3,750. Anyone else have a thing for even numbers, or is it just me? And hey, it's also nice to get that bill in the mail that has already been partially paid. So I then track our expenses in my budget tracker that is available in my Etsy store. You'll find the link in the video description. So recently I mentioned that we changed our holiday fund to our Best Life fund. We also have a plan to add more money to this account by capping our savings at $60,000 for the year. Our Best Life Fund is still for holidays, but any other experiences too. And we also want to fund home improvements from this account. So here are the categories that we allocate our money to. And this is just an example from the month of September. And honestly, I can't believe that in that month, childcare was nearly as much as our mortgage. Shocking. Now remember that because we have a business, we don't have car, phone, and internet costs as these are paid through my husband's business. So our expenses would actually be more if we had to include those costs. And of course, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or write a comment because it really does help to support my channel. Now for my income of $4,700 for the month. This gets deposited into our savings to invest offset account. So we live off my husband's wage and save mine. Although once our savings reach $60K for the year, some of this money will then go to our Best Life Fund. So as I mentioned before, we have decided to cap our savings at $60K for the year. After I read Die with Zero, I wanted to start spending more money on life experiences. But I have trouble spending money, which comes from my scarcity mindset that was developed in my childhood. Having this cap forces me in a good way to spend money without feeling guilty, because I've told myself $60K a year is more than enough. The Our Best Life Fund is running pretty low at the moment as we recently booked a holiday to Tasmania. Flights are expensive when you need to book for 4 people in peak holiday times. So here is how we're progressing to our $60,000 savings cap. We only have just over $6,000 to go, so we can probably start to add bigger chunks to the Our Best Life Fund. And here are our main offset accounts. There is the expenses where my husband's pay gets deposited, our savings to invest account where my pay gets deposited, our dividends account, this is where our dividends get paid and then that pays our investment loans, the Our Best Life Fund where leftover money from expenses or extra money once we save $60K goes into this account, and our emergency fund which generally stays at $30K. And then we have some business money offsetting our mortgage too. We have tax and super, that is money put away from my husband's business, the tax I've put away for family finance taxes, and then savings from my husband's business. This money that we've transferred across from my husband's business is called a director's loan for those who are wondering. Now I'm going to have a go at trying to make a graphic as cool as Baby Fire by Emily's. So our monthly pre-tax income was $14,500. $3K went to tax and $2,600 went to our retirement accounts. Some of that was from our employer. So our take-home pay was nearly $10,500, $47,000 went to savings, and $5,700 went to expenses. And then these are our expense categories. And if there's any money left over at the end of the month, we decide whether or not that's going to household bills, our Best Life Fund, or some non-essentials that we've been wanting. And that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook.